Well, thanks for tuning into the Zelos Podcast. I'm your host, Rocky Snyder, and this show is all about the pros behind professional athletes and NCAA. And this week's no exception. Andrew Sanders is joining me as my guest. He's from Penn State, the Nittany Lions, and he is the strength conditioning coach and performance coach for Penn State baseball. Before we get underway, remember you can always check out my website for podcast archives, weekly blogs, services, training, performance consulting, and so on, rockysnyder.com. And now let's just hear from our important sponsors before we get underway. This episode of the Zelos Podcast is sponsored by Kinetic IQ, where intelligence meets motion. Kinetic IQ brings a biomechanics lab into the palm of your hand, letting you measure movement anytime, anywhere, with just an iPad or an iPhone, and no wearables required. I've been using Kinetic IQ's markerless motion capture in my own practice, and whether you're screening athletes, analyzing posture and gait mechanics, optimizing performance, or guiding return to play, it helps practitioners like us save time, capture more objective data, and make instant actionable decisions. So to learn more about how Kinetic IQ is shaping the future of intelligent movement, visit them at kineticiq.com. That's KINETIKIQ.com. You know, I can't tell you how thrilled I am to have Metabolic Elite be one of the sponsors of the Zelos Podcast. You know what makes Metabolic Elite different is their commitment to real results. I've seen a lot of supplements and performance enhancement things over the years, but they pair clinical experience with innovation, like Lipitab, their proprietary solid-state liposomal delivery system. It's a chewable format which enhances absorption, like nutrients like BPC 157 and synapses. They're delivered more efficiently in the body, supporting recovery, focus, cognitive health. Their formulas go beyond the basics, solving performance health challenges at the system level. Every product is tested for quality, it's backed by research, and trusted by athletes and clinicians alike. So learn more at metabolicelite.co. And you can get 10% off all of Metabolic Elite products by entering the coupon code ZELOS, ZELOS. And before we get underway, be sure to follow us on Instagram at Rocky_Snyder, SNYDER. Click subscribe, give us some comments, tell a few friends, enjoy the show. Well, you know how we roll here. We just go with pro sports, collegiate sports, Division I, back and forth. It doesn't matter what season it's in or what sport it's in, and we run the gamut here. And I'm stoked because this week we've got Andrew Sanders here, and he is with Penn State, I guess we could say, right?
Penn State, yeah.
The Nittany Lions.
Yeah.
And well, first of all, welcome to the Zelos Podcast, and give us a rundown of your role at the university.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here. I am the athletic performance coach for Penn State baseball and men's tennis. I've been doing that for about 2 years now, and it's been great. It's been a great experience so far.
And which sport did you compete in? Which were those two, if any?
Baseball. When I was younger, yeah, I was a baseball player, soccer player, football player. So,
tri-sport. All right, not a specialist. So you're old enough to. So you've got to be in your 30s, I'm imagining, or beyond.
I am. I'm 34. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's about the cutoff point. Anybody under 30 is typically a sports specialist these days. They didn't
Yeah.
play, So did you grow up in the Northeast or in the Pennsylvania area?
I did. I grew up about 80 miles east of State College in Danville, Pennsylvania. I went to Penn State and did my undergrad here, and luckily was called back here and came back, and now I'm in the center of the state where my entire family is from. So it's pretty awesome.
Wow, that really is awesome.
Yeah.
How far did you take your sports competitions as an athlete? Did you play at Penn?
I did not. I
Neither
was
did
not
I.
good
So
enough.
we've got that in
Yeah.
common.
Was not good enough to play at Penn State. I was lucky enough to get into school here, and that was it. I studied kinesiology here and fell in love with it, and fell in love with coaching here. So that was kind of my career path. Just a high school athlete that just wanted to keep it going.
So instead of studying when I was in school, I would just go hit the weights in the weight room, and then occasionally I'd go into the study hall and find out there was an exam taking place. So I imagine you were probably a better student than myself.
I mean, I did okay. It was I was a 3.0 kind of guy, not a 4.0. But
Nice.
I was always interested in sports. I always loved it. I love coaching. I love the idea of preparation for the activity, and that's just kind of how I fell into it.
Dude, you love interning, is what I can see. You had an internship at Indiana, Bucknell, UConn, and then I guess did you get tired of just being the intern and then you got hired on at Siena or what? How did that go? How was your career path? That's what I'm asking.
Well, yeah, that's basically what for a while I was a professional intern. So basically I graduated from Penn State. I was coaching soccer at the time, personal training, and I just really fell in love with strength and conditioning as I grew, and got an internship at Indiana where I was brought out there and worked under Will Ali, who is currently working for the Baltimore Orioles, and Tom Morris, who is our high performance athletic director here at Penn State. And that's kind of how it all worked out.
Wait, dude. Okay, time out, because that's some scary stuff that you just kind of glazed over there. You were in the Pennsylvania area, and you decided to just rip up the roots and go to Indiana for an internship.
Yeah, that's basically what happened. So I was thinking about coming back to Penn State to do my internship with Jamie Burleson. He was the intern director at Penn State at the time, but he ended up getting a job at UCF, and he left right before I was going to start. And he's now at Florida State. He's been a great help to me since then. But shout out to Jamie. But basically, what happened was I applied to multiple internships, wanted to kind of see where I wanted to go. I knew it was going to be unpaid, so I saved up a lot of money to do it. And Indiana just caught my eye, and my family helped me move me out there. I moved out there, did an unpaid internship, and got to learn from Will and Tom Morris for about 6 to 7 months. So it was really rewarding experience. Yeah, and
Wow. What was the things that what were the top things that you walked away from with that in terms of knowledge and experience? Do you recall?
at Indiana, it was I mean that place. I mean, you could see there. I mean, they're in the national championship tonight. I mean, it was the way they do things there is just completely different. I mean, if you're a strength and conditioning intern, you should go there. I mean, they're top tier. Not to say that Penn State isn't, but they teach you how to work. They teach you how to be a perfectionist. I mean, there's no sitting down, there's no yawning, there's no saying can't or tired, and that's a real experience, and that's kind of what shaped me for where I am now.
5 months of not sleeping, just working 24 hours a day, basically. From that's what I'm gathering right now. Or if you did sleep, it was on one of the flat benches in the corner of the gym when no one was looking.
It was quick. It was a quick nap, and then you just go again. And it was they teach you how to be they teach you how to be diligent. They teach you how to be always ready to go. And it was just a rewarding experience that I could never get back.
Well, then, okay, so you bounced there. You went back to Pennsylvania to Bucknell, but then went to Connecticut and then up to New York. How did you make your way back to Penn?
Well, I got lucky. Tom Morris, who I mentioned before, who's the director of Olympic performance, Uh, he is from Pennsylvania as well. He went to Penn State. He came back to Pennsylvania, started working at Penn State, and Penn State needed a baseball coach. He called Will. Will said, "Why don't you give Andrew a call?" And that kind of got the ball rolling. So they gave me a call, and then I was put through a bunch of interviews. Got got through it. I wasn't even working baseball at the time. Whenever I was at Siena, I was primarily basketball and lacrosse. But I just love the idea of coming home, getting to work for Penn State is basically a dream come true, and just got really lucky in that time, and I made the most out of the opportunity.
And now you are basically you're the performance coach, athletic performance coach for baseball and men's tennis. Uh, where do those sports lie in terms of season? Are they overlapping each other? Is tennis in the fall, baseball in spring? How does it work out for you?
No, tennis actually is right now. It's a spring sport as well. So I get to do both at the same time. But I'm primarily a baseball strength coach. I travel with the baseball team. I go out all the practices. And tennis, I'm more of the strength and conditioning coach. Hit them with the weights, do what I can with them, as much as possible on court. But it's primarily baseball here at Penn State for me.
Okay, and you arrived in 24, so this is coming into your second season with the team.
Yeah, well, technically, since I started in January, it's going to be my third season with them. But yeah, I've been there for 2 years.
What have you learned in the amount of time that you've been there with the organization?
Uh, that it's a high level. It's elite. It's something that you're given all the resources possible, and you have to make the most out of it. And it's a great opportunity. They give you everything that you could possibly need, and at first it's very overwhelming because you've never been there before, but when you start understanding it and start getting the feel for it, start building relationships, it becomes a really great experience.
Can you put your finger on the moment you achieved that, like maybe last season or previous? I mean, where you just like, okay, I'm in the mix now. I feel like I'm one of the wheels in the overall machine here, and not just kind of almost an observer on the outside. Like you embedded yourself in. Was it early on? Did it take a while? What was it like?
Well, I'd say it actually happened pretty fast, especially with I didn't have men's tennis my first year here. I got that on my second year. But the way that our team rolled my first year here, that's where I kind of felt like a cognitive integral part. We were fighting for an 8 seed to get into the Big Ten tournament, and we ended up going all the way to the Big Ten championship. We eventually lost to Nebraska, but that set the tone. That was our coaching staff's first year. That was the first time in a long time that an 8 seed had ever gone to the Big Ten championship, and we lost 2-1, it was a close game, and we're in Omaha, and if you've ever been to Omaha against Nebraska, that's 13 to 15,000 fans that are coming at you, which is a great experience. But that's where we figured out, like, this can be something that we can really roll with. So that was the moment when we made the tournament. We swept Maryland at their place, and we just rolled after that.
Wow. Right on. And well, it makes sense that you'd be men's tennis and baseball because they're such complementary sports if we're thinking about like rotary sport, rotary power, rotary athlete. And do you how do you marry the two in terms of, well, let's just take program design for instance. There's a lot of similarities. I guess this would be a two-part question. What are the similarities in program design and what are the differences?
Well, I'd say based on their practice schedules, baseball Baseball, you have to keep lifting. You have to keep going throughout the entire season. We always train 3 days a week, no matter what. But their days are just a little bit different than tennis practices. Tennis practices are can be very long and grueling and 3 hours, and you're going left to right, diagonal, forward and backward. So theirs is a little bit more aerobic. So I kind of take tennis to make it more be a strength day on Mondays, like we just did tonight. And then I do like kind of like an activation lift on Wednesdays pre-practice. And then we kind of just focus on recovery throughout. Whereas baseball, I can get 3 days of work in. I can kind of keep pushing throughout baseball. That was one of the things that you didn't really know whenever you come from basketball and lacrosse. Like you can keep pushing with baseball. Like the guys have a lot of time on feet, but it's not an aerobic sport. It's a power sport, so you can keep going a little bit. Yeah, it's that the complementary part is being overhead and single leg, but with baseball you can kind of keep going. So that's a little bit of the difference. So I go 2 days a week with tennis in season. I go 3 days a week no matter what with baseball.
And what about competition schedule wise? I mean, I definitely, from a movement perspective, we can see tennis is 70, 80% lateral motion, and we're only talking just a few steps compared to baseball being linear or curvilinear, and it's like you say, power, explosiveness. But what about when it comes to tennis matches and games? I imagine baseball is going to be a lot more frequent with their schedule compared to tennis, but I could be wrong.
No, yeah, you're correct. I mean, tennis right now, the way they do things to start out their season, they do double headers on Saturdays. They just started this week. Uh, They ended up going 2-0, which was a good start for our young team. We have a very young team, a lot of freshmen and sophomores, one grad transfer, which is great. But they go double headers. They play at 11 and then they play at 4. And then eventually they'll get into a Friday, Sunday kind of split once they get into conference play. But then when you go with baseball, we start out Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We do that for all of February, and then when March comes, it can be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and that's where like really the
Oof.
grind really starts. So
Wow. Yeah, I can imagine that. So, in regards to trying to enhance and optimize performance while trying to mitigate potential injuries, like what's your secret sauce?
well, what we do with baseball, we collect a lot of data. We do a lot of force plate jumps, looking at concentric impulse, RSI mod. We look at vertical takeoff velocity.
And what is that
Um,
going to tell you?
It's going to tell us if the guys are feeling good or not, if their legs are
Fatigue level.
under fatigue
Got it.
level, are their power outputs up. We also take a lot of NordBord work, which is hamstring strength, because baseball, hamstring pulls are the number one injury in baseball. So we do that once a week. So if I'm looking at guys on the Thursday night before we're going into the season or before into a weekend. I'm looking at their force output. And if it's down, I can relay to the coaches, hey, this is down. We're going to have to make an adjustment for this weekend. Maybe take a little time off feet. Maybe we do a little less running, do things that are going to cater to them. And then our athletic trainer, Robin, does a really good job with arm scores, doing isometric holds, and seeing where our shoulders are as pitchers. So we do a lot of force plate work, NordBord work, and arm care work to make sure that our guys are going at a high level no matter what. And if they're not, then we have to make modifications to make sure that we keep them healthy.
So when it comes to the Nordboard, it's a hell of an exercise. I totally get the logic behind it. What I'm curious about is, do you notice a reduction of hamstring pulls with the incorporation of the Nordboard? But that's really hard to discern because you've got so many other elements. Like, maybe there's some research that you've read, but I haven't seen anything. And not to negate the Nordboard in any way, but is it effective? I guess that's what I'm wondering.
It has been this year. We didn't have any hamstring pulls the entire fall ball season, which is almost unheard of when it
Wow.
comes to fall ball. When you're looking at it, we're doing isometric 30. We're seeing if their force output's up, and if it's not out, I'd let the coaches know that minute, like, hey, the next couple of days we're gonna do an extended warm up. We're not gonna push them. We're gonna do this, and then that kept us healthy the entire fall, which is basically unheard of when it comes to baseball in the fall. So it's been a proven thing to do this year, and we're keeping it going in season. So
Fantastic. That's
yeah.
what, yeah, I just, I've been scratching my head about it because obviously it's engaging muscles that could be imbalanced or weakened, but at the same time, it's not necessarily how the muscles would behave in the sport itself. But I'm just kind of interested in the carryover, and that's great news.
Yeah.
Uh, anything? What are the other common injury areas typical for your athletes? And how do you try to create Kevlar around those situations?
Low back is quite a bit. Can be a pretty heavy one. Groins and quads. So we do a lot of Copenhagen planks. We do a lot of isometrics, in that area. We make sure that the guys are always warmed up. My warm up on a day-to-day basis, has a lot of isometric holds in it, to get their glutes firing, to get their hamstrings firing, to make sure that they're ready to go. And I basically just cater to that every day. If I know that my guys are pretty good at communicating with me that they're feeling some sort of way, especially right now, we just started our first week of preseason. It's cold up here in Pennsylvania. We got an indoor facility, but it can be really cold, and we still do a really good job of just making sure that they're warmed up and ready to go. So we hit the isometrics pretty hard. And we do a lot of work we take a 20 to 25 minute warm up every day to make sure that they're good to go, which my coaches are really great about that. They want our guys ready to go, so they give me enough time in order to make that happen.
That's fantastic. And so with these ISO holds, you're using them primarily as an activation mechanism. But
Right.
do you ever put them in between lifts, or is it just not just? I mean, is the main purpose as an activator, uh, but do you use them in other environments? I guess my question.
Sometimes, when we get more in season, I'll use it more. But when we're the way I space things out, I don't waste time with isometrics in the lift because I do it every day in the warm up. Um, I do med ball work in the warm up, so I don't have to waste time doing it in the lift. The lift is the lift, and that's the best thing about what Penn State has given me. I'm with my guys every day, 7 days a week, no matter what. I mean, sometimes in the fall, because of football games, we're not there together on Saturdays, but other than that, I'm with my guys throughout fall ball, throughout in season. We're going to see each other every day from now until June, and that's the best thing about it. It's not necessarily microdosing, but you're getting all of your work in when it's necessary. So I don't have to waste time doing isometrics in the weight room because I'm doing them in the warm up every day. I do med ball work in the warm up every day. I do speed work 3 times a week, change of direction a couple times a week. So it's nice that I don't have to implement those types of things into my lift. I also make sure that they're doing mobility on their own time. So I also don't have to waste time with mobility in my lifts.
Beautiful. Okay,
Yeah.
let's talk lifts then. How about this? Uh, Contralateral sport, even swinging the ball, swinging the bat, you're going to have one arm that's going through internal rotation while the other one's external rotation for the most part. Uh, how does that carry over into your lifts? Are you primarily the bilateral fundamental lift of squat, RDLs and so on, or where does the unilateral or even contralateral movements come into play in the weight room, or do they? Like, what are your go-to lifts?
Squat, bench, deadlift, front squat.
Powerlifting. Okay.
Yeah. Clean pulls, you know. I keep it very simple. I we hit the bilateral every week, heel elevated to make sure they're hitting full range of motion. I do a push day, a pull day, and then a combo day. And if I'll do a single leg exercise as an accessory. I keep it very simple with them. They that you don't have to get too crazy, which is it's good. I mean, I was a West Side conjugate guy growing up for a long time. But it was at the same time it's like it's very it's very beneficial to just keep it simple. And I've seen a lot of that, a lot of good things this year doing that, hitting fives, hitting threes, hitting ones, and then just cycling back. And it's been really beneficial for them. I saw a lot of good increases this year, and sometimes when it comes to baseball, you don't have to diversify the lifting plan as much as you think to get the power outputs or the changes. So that I just keep it simple.
And your
It
rep
could be
counts
more
between
simple.
1 to 5?
If we're in November, I'll go like an 8 here and there, but I keep it at fives right now, and then going right. We finished up our winter packet our last week. We started this week to make sure that there was no like extra soreness into coming into practice, and next week we're gonna hit threes, and then our accessories are all gonna be fives. It's We're gonna keep it simple. We we're doing whatever we can to build their body armor, basically to weaponize them for what this season is about to be, and that's our main goal.
Sweet. Yeah, that's great. We're just going to take a quick pause from this conversation to acknowledge our sponsors, and then we'll be right back. The Zelos Podcast is sponsored by Kinetic IQ, where intelligence meets motion. Kinetic IQ brings a biomechanics lab into the palm of your hand, letting you measure movement anytime, anywhere with just an iPad or iPhone. No wearables required. I've been using Kinetic IQ in my own practice, and whether you're screening athletes, optimizing performance, or guiding return to play, it helps practitioners like us save time, capture more objective data, and make instant actionable decisions. So to learn more about how Kinetic IQ is shaping the future of intelligent movement, visit kinetikiq.com. That's KINETIKIQ.com. At the forefront of Metabolic Elite is Jim Lavelle, internationally recognized clinical pharmacist, a chief science officer at Lifetime, and the co-chair for the American Academy of Anti-Aging Medicine. He's got over 4 decades of experience and has guided Olympic athletes, professional teams, and leading health institutions. You know what makes Metabolic Elite different is their commitment to real results. Like Lipitab, their proprietary solid-state liposomal delivery system. It's a chewable format which enhances absorption like nutrients like BPC 157 and synapses. They're delivered more efficiently in the body, supporting recovery, focus, cognitive health. Their formulas go beyond the basics, solving performance health challenges at the system level. Every product is tested for quality, it's backed by research, it's trusted by athletes and clinicians alike. And you can get 10% off all of Metabolic Elite products by entering the coupon code ZELOS, ZELOS. And what elements within the program have you put in that you didn't realize had so much importance?
I would say the we really upped our level in nutrition this year. We
Really?
really
How so?
we were well, I don't know if you've seen what Penn State has done. They've created this area called Greenberg, which is like an athlete only cafeteria with the downstairs is like a spa recovery area. You know, you got your massage chairs, you got your red light therapy, you got your hot and cold tubs, saunas, all of that stuff. And we're able to feed our guys as much as we possibly can, and we're able to get their recovery in as much as I can. Our training tables are fantastic. Pat Kraft did an amazing job at building just a basically a spa level recovery center that we're able to make sure that our guys are eating enough, getting all their recovery, and we optimize sleep schedules. You know, we when we got into fall ball, we don't make our guys get up early in the morning. We know that we're gonna go from 12 o'clock hitting groups that are optional throughout all the way to a practice that's going to end at 6 o'clock. So, hey, the practice ends at 6 o'clock. We'll get our lift in, you get your dinner, and then you can go again. So it helped with limiting up downs throughout the day, that you're not warming up, cooling down, doing all those things. So just making the most out of their schedule was the best thing that happened for them, I would say.
Gotta love that. Wow, Andrew, that is awesome. Um,
Yeah.
are you? I don't imagine that you're tracking their nutrition necessarily. You're just providing them with an environment to eat well and often and recover.
Well, I'm actually not in charge of that anymore. We have a nutritionist that does that for them, that helps them out with any questions that they have. If we think that they need to gain a little weight, especially our freshmen that are just coming on, she does a really good job at creating programs with them, creating challenges for them. But our guys really like to do that stuff. They like to eat healthy. You know, it's a good change of pace whenever you see that. They're looking for uh food to eat that makes them feel good. So it makes it a little easier. And they love Chipotle, and I don't know if you've seen Chipotle's like new ad, like protein, protein, protein. So
It's
like
all protein.
that's just what we preach. So we get lucky with that. And but yeah, that's the good thing about baseball. They're guys that are always they're in tune with their bodies for the most part, and you just get lucky that way.
What about you, though? I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of ER professionals that are out of shape because they spend so much time taking care of others that they neglect themselves. You don't appear to be that way, so don't get this question wrong. But how has working there at Penn State affected your lifestyle? Would you say it's in a positive manner or negative, and how?
It's definitely in a positive manner. I mean, the resources that we have, um, you know, you're always trying to get a little better. You know, you don't want your athletes to be beating you in anything. So it's I mean, the baseball guys, they like to talk. So I don't let them get an edge on me. The coaches here, the strength coaches, baseball coaches, everybody's trying to get an edge. Nobody's trying to be out of shape. So that's a good thing here. And you're always trying to do a little bit more. And with us, we got early mornings. You know, we have a full field here. We have a field that requires grass. So you got to be here at 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, ready to go and have a full day. And if you're not ready to go, people are going to let you know about it. So it's always been something that I pride myself on to take care of myself. So I'm setting a good example for them.
Well, how do you balance the roles between the men's tennis and baseball? I know you're saying primarily baseball, but you, yeah, what is your work schedule like? You just mentioned you get there about eight. Yeah, I imagine you probably get there earlier because you don't want to be the last one there. But what is a day in the life of Andrew Sanders?
I mean, I guess it would depend on kind of the time of year. But basically, we do we do a lot more with baseball than I do with men's tennis. Men's tennis is a team that I just take care of in the weight room, and go see their competitions, and I do what I can to support them as much as possible. But I was brought here to be a strength coach for the baseball team. But I'm there when we need to be there. Today is an off day, but pitchers have their schedules. You got to work, and it's a great time. I mean, it's not anything that you don't enjoy doing. I mean, you're not sitting at a desk. Yeah, you work every day, but you get to see these guys develop. You get to see them work hard, and you get to push them, and it's the best thing that you could actually ever imagine, and that's exactly why you get into it. And but I would say a typical day, we have a 10 o'clock meeting uh, with the athletic trainer to talk about anybody that might be hurt or might be feeling some sort of way going into the practice. Then you meet with the coaches to go over the practice plan at 10:30, and then whether or not we have practice at 2 or 5 based on our schedule on the indoor. Um, we go over our practice plan, and then we go to practice. I warm them up. I put them through their speed work, and then we practice for about 3 hours. And then there's a post lift based on their throwing schedules or based on the position players that day. So it's anywhere from 9 to 12 hours a day.
Yeah. All right. Do you have a wife or a girlfriend?
I have a girlfriend, yeah, but
All
she's
right.
also a strength coach, so it makes it very easy.
Oh,
Yeah,
right
yeah,
on
yeah.
campus also.
Yes, yes.
Oh, that does make it easy. You guys commute
Yeah.
together?
Not yet, but she's on the other side of campus, so we won't be doing that anytime soon. But it's definitely something that helps when you have somebody that knows the grind, knows the lifestyle, and loves it too. So it's a good motivator for you.
Right on.
Yeah,
Okay, I've got a few rapid fire questions I've put together. If you're game, you want to try a little bit of batting practice here with me?
sure. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Baseball or tennis, which sport challenges movement quality more?
Oh, tennis for sure. I would say, just based on like that level of agility and forward and backward. I mean, it's nonstop. I mean, that sport is absolutely crazy. I mean, the way they work, they go 3 hours a day and they come in, they're ready to lift. I mean, baseball for sure, high hand-eye coordination, what they have to do is definitely one of the hardest sports of all time, but tennis, man. I mean, that stuff never stops. They go two, 3 times a day, and there's only a couple of them. And I would say tennis is definitely the harder of the sports. Definitely harder on the
Okay.
endurance. Yeah,
Right on. How about one warm up drill you never skip?
high knee karaoke. That's always that's always it. Yeah, I mean, especially with those two teams. I mean, you got to get your rotational. You got to snap it down. You got to be able to be ready to go.
How about the greatest myth in collegiate strength conditioning?
Cara hours.
What was, what was that? What does that mean?
Care hours means that yeah, you go a little bit longer than you need to.
Oh, I get you.
Yeah.
Favorite way to train rotational power?
Um, heavy isometrics. Heavy isometrics. I mean, it's they're always rotating. So what can I do? I can sit there with a heavy isometric to make them brace and make them be ready for it.
Nice. Best single cue for improving acceleration.
Toes up, knees up. I mean, that's what it is. Keeping the knees up. Don't let them fall behind.
Nice. Most underrated recovery tool for college athletes.
Sleep.
Beautiful. Strength or speed? What's your go to priority earlier in the week?
Speed.
One mistake
Absolutely.
athletes make in the weight room. One mistake.
Ego lifting.
Oh, good answer.
Yeah.
Mobility focus, hips or ankles?
Hips.
If you could steal a training concept from another sport, what would it be?
I would love I love lacrosse. I love football. I love those types of sports. I love basketball. So I always love the hip and ankle work that go into that. I love the conjugate method, and a lot of people use that for baseball as well. But I think the heavy isometrics in those sports are very valuable, and I think being able to use that on a regular basis is something that needs to be done and is done in tennis, but not done in baseball is enough.
Yeah, well, that's a really good point there. So, how do you incorporate chaos into your program? What I mean by that is like we talked. I don't know if I hit the record button or not before we brought this up, but you grew up playing three different sports depending on the season, right? Whatever season was, same for me. In the fall it was one thing, winter another, spring another, and so on. But today's athletes are very specialized. They grew up with mainly one concentration. Of course, there's going to be those that grew up with multi sports, but for the most part, it was travel sport. Then they got into high school, they got recruited by college, and they're playing fall ball, then spring, and there's maybe a little bit of downtime, but there's not a lot of cross training or other elements to throw things into the mix. So I would call that chaos. How do you put chaos into your programming for your athletes?
I don't. I don't put it
No,
in. I don't. To be honest with you, um,
like no
I
ultimate
think
frisbee games, no disc golf or anything like that. We're just
no.
gonna shake
I'll
it
add some.
up.
No, I'll add some competitions that are in there, but they're always central focus is baseball or like
But
power
what's give me an
development.
idea what that looks like? What do you mean?
Um, okay, so okay, so we'll do like a granny toss med ball hop, you know. So I'll put a hoop out there and be like, all right, let's shoot free throws, something like that. Or we do move the mountain, which is taking a stack of 45s, running it down 25 yards, stacking it, running back. So change of direction, power development there. I don't do anything that's I don't like creating chaos with them. I think the way their season is, the way their sport is, I like to create consistency, and that's what they have to stick to. If I had them in the summertime, um, that'd be great, but I don't get them in the summertime. And I don't get them at the winter when they go home for Christmas break. So I don't really add that in, but like those little games, I'll do some stuff like that to make it fun. But I don't add chaos. I mean, what we're doing here at Penn State is trying to develop them to be professional baseball players, and we're trying to give them that type of atmosphere. And so they don't do that at the professional level, so we're not going to do it here.
All right, I get it. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, you've been there enough to probably develop a couple of pet peeves. What are some of your pet peeves? Whether it's regarding the athletes, the team, the weight room.
I mean, we stick to a pretty strict schedule here. Nobody's allowed to sit down during a training session. Nobody's allowed to yawn. Yawning is a pet peeve for sure. We don't do that. They don't say the words can't or tired. Yawning is the biggest pet peeve for sure. I mean, I'll see a woman at the grocery store and I'll get mad yawning. So like that's just the
Wow.
type of thing that we never yawn, and we never complain unless there's a solution. We keep it 100. We keep it ready to go, and we don't waste our time. So yawning, sitting down, saying can or tired. Those are push up worthy right there.
Right on. Okay, if there's something that you really would want, like if it was Christmas tomorrow morning, and in regards to your job, your role and responsibility, you'd ask Santa to put this under the tree, what would it be?
For us to have a 40 to 45 win season and not have any injuries.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, I hope that's the case, man. That
that's
would
what
be
we want.
great.
Yeah, that's what we want.
And okay, one more kind of sideways question, I guess, before I ask you a couple other things, though. If this wasn't your occupation, what would you be doing?
I don't know. I've never really thought about that. I think I would be I think I would be a good like car salesman. Yeah, I know how to talk to people a little bit. I was really when I was doing my internships, I was a bartender server. I was really good at that. I was a manager at one point of a restaurant. But it just never really came about. I was always into this, whether it was physical therapy, athletic training. I was always into sports. And I was always in lifting, maybe a personal trainer or something like that. But it just never really crossed my mind. I mean, I've always gravitated towards sports and coaching, and I can't really think of anything else I'd rather do. Maybe eventually uh, be in charge of a private facility to help develop younger athletes. But right now, I'm doing exactly what I need to be doing.
Well, that's an amazing statement right there, isn't it? What a blessed life you're leading.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, to actually follow your passion and your dreams and to end up where you want to be is something else. What about like education? You've got your master's and you're at one of the most amazing universities in the nation. Have
Mhm.
you considered a PhD while you're there, or is it too early?
Uh, Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm ready for that. A PhD in sports psych would be something that I've thought about and to definitely get under my belt. But right now I'm just trying to master strength and conditioning. I'm trying to master being the best baseball strength coach and tennis coach that I can actually absolutely be. But maybe down the line when, the hips and joints get a little tight, I might look into to moving that way when I'm a little bit older.
Beautiful. If people want to follow your pursuits, if you put social media posts out there of lifts or anything else, what's the best way to do that? To follow you.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, Coach Salmon 19. You can follow me. I don't do a really good job at posting what we're doing in the weight room, but I do post our team success whenever that occurs. I'm on LinkedIn, but I'm not a really great social media kind of guy. I let my team speak for themselves, so I'd say follow Penn State baseball. Penn State baseball, Penn State men's tennis. And then you can see the type of work that I'm doing with them behind the scenes.
And when is the first pitch thrown this season?
February 13th, we play Air Force out in Arizona.
Ooh.
We got a little tournament out there with Air Force, Yukon, and Grand Canyon. It should be really great. We follow up with a series at Richmond, and then we go to the Bahamas and play Indiana State. So it's going to be a good February.
Yeah, you get out of the cold and into some tropics. That sounds amazing.
It's pretty great. Yeah, pretty great.
Well,
We're looking
Coach
forward to it.
Sandman, Andrew, this has been fantastic. I love learning from the pros, and you're no exception. So thank you for this. Thank you for your time.
No, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
And another episode comes to a close. I can't thank Andrew enough, as well as Penn State Baseball, for allowing this to take place. If you want more information about Andrew or the program that they have there, just go to the description below the podcast for links. Until next week, get out there and make it a good one. Here's one more chance to listen to our sponsors as well. Remember to check out metabolicelite.co. check out all the products they have on their website. Synapsin Pro is something I've been using to help stay focused without having to over-caffeinate myself. It keeps me in the zone so I can just really hone in on the things I need to achieve without feeling like, man, I gotta reach for an energy drink every 5 minutes. Metabolicelite.co. And don't forget, Kinetic IQ. They've got markerless motion capture for morons like me. I can use their product with my iPhone or my iPad. I can look at posture analysis, movement analysis of any exercise, gait analysis. It gives me everything I could possibly want when tracking people's movements. So, check out kineticiq.com.